Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. So we are actually doing a continuation. Yes, last night we did quadratic formula, and then I started doing slope, and then my butt got real tired. So what have I learned? I learned to just, stop what you're doing before you get all kinds of loopy. But we are still going to be working on slopes and also the equation of the line, which is also called rate of change. Okay, so slopes are also known as rate of change. The reason why they're called the rate of change, because when we're talking about change, we're saying that a lot of us know it as rise over run, but it's basically your change of your y's over the change of your x's. Okay, so change of your y. So that means change, delta symbol. Okay, for all my delta phi's, delta phi's, delta, all kinds of deltas out there. Okay, delta meaning change. So we are making that difference. Either you're going to say, as it says up here, my y2 minus y1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Or we can do y1 minus y sub 2, x sub 1 minus x sub 2. The reason why we see this is because we have a lot of nations that read from right to left, and it makes sense. But since if you're here in the States, we read from left to right. So you are going to get the same answer. You might have to play around with some integers or some positive and negative numbers, but you will ultimately get the same answer. All right, so before we get into full swing, if anything, for people that weren't here last night, if you want to kind of take a little snapshot and take a look at what we're doing, go right ahead. Okay, so we are going to be doing slopes algebraically, which is using our formulas that we just talked about. And here's an example of one. And we're also going to look at it from a equation of a line as well as graphically. Okay, so that is what we are doing. So go ahead and tap away. All right, we have 4 people here. Make that 6, make that 7. Just got my stuff start kicking in. All right, so some comments. How come some of the comments are already being filtered? We just got on. It's like, what's happening? Okay. All right, and I know. All right, Mike Jenkins, thanks for coming in. Hey, Michael. Join on in. How are you? I was like, you're probably like waiting for this. All right, so go ahead and tap on in. Yes, we are going to be working on slopes. Yes, we are going to be working on equation of lines. And yes, we are doing this on a Friday during summer break. Yes, and you know reason why? Because we have a lot of people that are taking their TEAS exam, okay? Their final exams are all, whoever's taking classes, mostly everyone's getting their final exams either on the 30th of this month or the 31st. So we need to work on some of these basic concepts to help each other out, right? How are you? Okay. So, all right. So as you guys are coming in, go ahead and tap up. So let's see if we can get people coming in. That would be wonderful. And I know it's a Friday, so I'm not expecting like huge numbers, but I am expecting some kind of participation. So if you are someone that's trying to get your GED, your ASVAB, maybe even work on the AccuPlacer, this is the live for you. If you are just a person that's going through a current math class and you're just like, I feel completely lost, this is the live for you. We just work on certain concepts each and every live as we go with the whole progression. As well as if you are basically a student and then you're thinking about, oh, well, I need to finish this summer reading packet, Don't wait till the last minute. Go ahead. This is probably the live for you to kind of help refresh your memory, because you've probably been out of class for about a couple of weeks, maybe 2, maybe 3 weeks. Some of you guys almost a month. So, hey, that'll work. Okay? Yep, so keep on tapping. If we can get to 500, that would be wonderful. There's like 13 of us right now. 14 of us right now that's in here. Hello, user. Yeah, all of that. Okay. So if you need to do that while you guys are tapping, all right, I do have some openings left in the month of July. So if you're currently enrolled in college algebra, maybe the college intermediate courses, maybe you need to finish up your summer packet, or maybe you're in a prep class that you need some assistance with, I need your help to fill up my schedule, and at the same time, I can help you. My summer courses, well, my tutoring is usually $87, but I am doing a discount at $47 for my one-to-ones and my pairs, and then $37 per person for groups of 3 to 5. So we can get you guys ready for all of this. Okay, is behind in math. That's why we're trying to build ourselves up here. Okay. All right. So let's get her going. So when we're looking at slope, and I'm going to try to do a different one. So if they give us 2 order pairs, so let's say -3, 1, and -17 and 2. So as we go through this, we need to basically find the difference of your y's over the difference of your x's. So the way that we read the order pairs is that it goes x, then y. Think of the alphabet, X, Y, Z. Since we read from left to right, this is going to be the first point that we're going to see. So this will be my x sub 1 and my y sub 1. This will be my x sub 2 and my y sub 2. So many of you will basically have like the difference. So obviously you could do the y2 minus y1 over my x sub 2 minus x sub 1. If you do that, that means you're going to have 2 minus 1, and that's going to be over my -17 minus a -3. So when we take a closer look, all we have to do is combine what's going on in the numerator and in the denominator. So we have 2 minus 1. So 2 minus 1, that gives me 1. And -17 minus a -3, that is not a -20. Okay? That's not a -20. When you minus a negative, this part here is going to change to a positive. So it's really a -17 plus 3. So if you owe me $17, then you paid me 3, that means you owe me $14. Okay, you owe me $14. So now you have your slope, which is 1 over -14. Now, if I tried to do the same thing, but I'll do my y1 minus my y2 over my x1 minus my x2, then I have my 1 minus 2 over my -3 minus -17. So here I have 1 minus 2, so that will give me a -1. And -3 minus a -17, when you minus a negative, it turns positive. So here I'm going to have a positive 14. These two are very similar. They're both negative. The only thing that is being addressed is this one is saying my rise is going up. And this one, my run, is going to the left. Whereas this slope is saying that my rise is going down, but I'm shifting 14 to the right. Okay. All right. Okay. So since we have all those, they're interchangeable. So I'm just trying to show you that when you're looking at slopes, you're basically going to get the same answer. Okay, especially if you got your negative slopes. So which one do you do first? It doesn't matter. Yep, Monique, it doesn't even matter. Okay, the 3 not multiple. There isn't any multiples. Okay, so we got a rise or a run. So you always want to rise out of bed before you run to the bathroom. Okay. All right. Okay. No, we're not multiplying, Kiki. You're basically subtracting. All right. So let's try another one. Just to get our bearings down. All right. So if we have, you have your -12 minus 5, and you have 0 and -8. So we are just looking for our slope. Oh, good job, Nate. 97, nice. For your daughter, just go ahead and message me, okay? If you go to click on my profile, and you can message me. Good job, Nate. I know you're excited. You worked hard. You worked really hard for that. I hope you're proud of yourself, okay? I hope you're proud of yourself. The factoring lesson helped? Good. Good. All right. Nice. So if people cannot stick around, and that's perfectly fine, because if you go here, you can get the recordings of all of my lives from TikToks from February the 5th. So there's quite a few there, okay? So whatever, if there's certain that you're like, oh man, can you show me how to graph an equation line? I already have a video that's listed there, okay? So, and plus we're going to be doing that today anyway. So there you go. Okay. Yep. So when you get that factoring sheets will be there. Okay. All right. So if we want to find our slope, remember it is basically the change of your y's over the change of your x's. Okay, the change of your y's over the change of your x's. So if you want, you can go from left to right. That's perfectly fine. If you want to do the traditional from right to left, that's perfectly fine. But no matter what, you have to make a decision of which way you want to go. So I like to go from left to right. So we have a -5 minus a -8, because those are my y's. Then I keep the same pattern by going to the first parentheses, so that'll be -12 minus 0. Do I prefer this more than a class setting? It's basically the same. Stress is stress no matter what. I mean, you still have to prep, you still have to do things, but right now it's like I can come on and If I feel like, this is not a great live, I can shut it down and be perfectly fine. But, when you have a certain class, you just can't. Okay. No L. We're looking at just the slope, not the equation of the line yet. Okay. Why do we always go from left to right? Because that's how we read. Okay. Why is it not plus 0? Because 0 is neither positive nor negative. Okay. The reversal won't work. Try it. Actually, we just did an example of it earlier. I'm not sure if you were here. Are you doing y2 minus y1? No, I'm doing y1 minus y2. You can continue on, and you're going to see the same answer. Why is there a parenthesis on the 8? Because the 8 is negative. Because if you just write -5 minus 8, you're going to be wrong. Okay? So you have a minus negative. That's why I put parentheses around my negatives every time I substitute. Okay? All right? So, is it Myra or Mara? Or Mara? It's saying that the answer is 3 because when we have a -5 minus a -8, when you minus a negative, it turns positive. So -5 plus 8, that will give me 3. You have -12 minus 0. So if you started off with -12 and you didn't take anything away from it, it's still going to be a -12. Okay. So yeah, it's going to be a positive 3. So now we can reduce this. Okay. We're not multiplying. Okay, we're not multiplying. So that's just not going to be it. Okay. No. -12 times 0 does not give you a positive 12, zombie. All right. So you can divide, but really you can simplify. Okay. So if you simplify it, you have 3 and you have -12. 3 and 12, they both have 3's in common. So if I divide the numerator by 3 and I divide the denominator by 3, 3 divided by 3 will give me a 1. And -12 divided by 3 will give me a -4. So this -4 is going to be my rate of change, my slope. There you go. All right, awesome. So -1/4, yes. Good. All right. So let's try another one, and then we'll get into the graphing. So, give this one a try. Tell me what my slope is. Can you do the negative first? What, for the -1/4? Yes, for the -1/4. Yes, you can do the negative first. So that means you're going to go down 1 and then to the right 4. Or if you want the 4 to carry the negative, you can go up 1 but to the left 4. Okay. Hey, Pog. How are you? It's Laney saying -60. Okay. All right. So if we take a look, that's your x1, that's your y1. This is your x sub 2, this is your y sub 2. So I will do this one the traditional way, okay? So I'm getting negative 30, I'm getting negative 6 and 0. I'm getting a series of numbers. I'm getting negative 6, 23. All right, so let's take a look. So if we do the y2 minus y1, so y2 is 12 minus my y1, which is a negative 18. And we're putting it over my x's. So my x2 is 11 minus my x1, which is 12. So it's just like what Pollock mentioned, okay? But we have to watch our signage because we have 12 minus a negative 18. When you minus a negative, it turns positive. So you actually have 12 plus 18, which gives me a positive 30. Then it's over 11 minus 12. That's where he's getting that from. So 11 minus 12. So that means you have $11. You want to spend $12, but you are short $1. So we can, doing the rise over run, we're going to rise up 30, but we're going to go to the left 1. Okay. Another name of really simplifying it will be a negative 30 will be your slope. Okay? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right, so that's what it's saying. So when we have, if we do from left to right, you'll probably get the same answer. So again, my y's are going to still be in the numerator. So you have negative 18 minus 12 over 12 minus 11. So negative 18 minus 12 gives me negative 30. And then 12 minus 11 gives me 1. So you get the same answer. Okay? But it just seems like people get lost in the sauce when they go from Y2 trying to match their Y1. They'll be fine with the Y's, but for some reason the X's just does not compute very easily for some people. All right. Okay, that's always the formula. So remember, the formula is going to be either your Y2 minus your Y1. It's always going to be minus over your x2 minus your x1. That's always your slope. Okay, that's the formula. But if you want to go a different route, you can say for your slope, you're going to have your y1 minus your y sub 2 over your x sub 1 minus your x sub 2. So either one of those will work for your equation. Okay. All right. So that's finding slope algebraically. The reason why it's algebraically because we're using a formula to basically find our solution. So now let's see if we can take a look at it graphically. So if you want to continue tapping, you can while I set all this stuff up. And then I'm really going to zoom in so you guys can definitely see what's going on. Because now you'll be able to really see and understand the rise overrun. You need all the help you can get? All right. Well, come on in. And don't forget, I do have... where's the other one? Oh, here it is. That I do have room for a month of July. Now, if you already failed midterms or just barely passed it, and now all the stuff that you guys are currently working on in your classes don't make any sense, it doesn't make any sense to sit there and say, ugh, I'm not good at math, because that's not helping your grade. That's not helping you. That's not helping you understand. So we got to learn to be an advocate for ourselves. So why not get someone that knows what's going on? I usually like to give tips on how to solve it quickly. So, because remember, some of these tests, they're timed. So you cannot spend 20 minutes on one question. Okay? Not possible. You're not going to finish. Okay? So we have to add that element of surprise in there as well. So this is why when so many people are saying, why are we doing math in the summer? Hey, just because regular school is closed doesn't mean that all classes are done. I got one more. So go ahead, keep tapping. Hey, C4, how are you? Okay, all right. So we're going to work on these 4. All right. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. A little fatigued, but that's the norm now. So it's like, why complain about it, right? Staying up, making sure that we have things going, making sure that we have lessons planned, practice sheets, the norm. All right. Okay, thank you so much for the taps. I greatly appreciate it. Yes, you should never stop learning. That's how they control your minds. Hey, Janice. Oh, hey, Robert. How are you? All right. That's what happens when you start prepping. Okay, so let's focus on one at a time. So I'm just going to enlarge. Be large and in charge. Yeah, that makes it so much easier. You don't have to use the paper. All right. So, all right, I'm doing okay. Had some really good tutoring sessions this morning. I usually don't have tutoring sessions on Fridays, but everyone's getting what they need to get. All right, so as we take a look, they're giving us 2 points. They're giving us this point here and this point down here. So we could sit here, get the order pairs for each of the points, and then do what we've been doing. Either we're doing this equation, do it algebraically, or this equation, do it algebraically. Now, we can do that. Or we can focus on the rise over the run. We talk about it, so now let's apply it. So think about it, like especially if you live in the city, okay? We have city blocks. So say you're at your house, and your house is right here, and you're trying to give people directions to your friend's house that's having a party, okay? Low key, one of those kind of crazy parties, So In order for you to get from your house to this friend's house, you're not going to go through people's homes, okay? Especially if you're from where I'm living in Baltimore right now. We don't play that. That's how you get offed. So if anything, you got to walk down so many blocks. So in this case, if I start here, I can walk up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks. So my rise is 7. Okay? Because from here, I rose up 7. So I went up 7 blocks. Now from here, I need to get to the house. So that means I'm going to turn right and go 1, 2, 3 blocks. Say he's that house in the corner, right? So you would have to go 3 blocks. That's your run. So your rise over the run, aka your slope, is going to be 7/3. We want to keep our slope as a fraction. Okay, we want to keep that slope as a fraction. Right. Okay, so basically C4, like C4 is saying, it's your change of your y's over the change of your x's. The y's always go in the numerator. So if I had this for a test question and they say, match the slope of this line. All right, well, I'm going to work on my rise first. So that means, okay, I'm looking at it from left to right. My graph is increasing. So if you see a negative slope, obviously that can't be the answer. Cross it out. Okay, process elimination. Now, if you can narrow it down to just one, maybe there's only one positive slope, boom, that's your answer. Click it, bubble it, move on. But if you see 2 that are giving me a positive slope, all right, let me do the counting. And if I see 7 and the other one says, like, say 4, well, that means this is your answer. Click it, move on. The days of doing the whole entire thing, especially for multiple choice questions, unless your teacher is asking for seeing all the steps, you got to give it. If they're not asking it and it's just like a generic, well, not generic, but just a standardized test, like the GED or the ASVAB or the AccuPlacer or anything of those sorts, you just have to basically tell them what the answer is. Is it A, B, C, or D? Okay? All right. So now we're going to find our slope for the next one. They're giving us 2 points. Notice how the points are set up. If you have basically a box grids like this, where they intersect on one corner of the boxes, that's how you know that's a point that's on the line. Okay? This one might be one as well, but we're not too sure. But let's focus on the 2 that they're giving us. So again, you're at your place and you're trying to get to your friend's house. You could be down here or you can be up here. It doesn't matter which one you start with. What matters is the movement. Are you going to the right? If you're going to the right, it's positive. If I'm going to the left, it's negative. If I'm going up, it's positive. If I'm going down, it's negative. So if I start, let me say if I start up here and I want to go down here. I'm saying that, okay, in order for us to get to the party, we have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know it sounds crazy for me to say my rise is 6, but it's a -6 because I have to go down. Your rise, you're either going up or you're going down. Now, for my run, after I went down 6, I'm going to go over 1, 2. But which way did I go? I went into the right. So the right is going to be a positive number. So my run which my run goes left or right, my run is a positive 2. Okay, so we went down 6, went over to the right 2. So this is telling me that my slope, see if I have it, let me slide over a little bit, is negative 6 over 2. But can't that be reduced? You count down 6. Okay. Okay. Can this be reduced? Yes. FW Super told me it's going to be a negative 3. Do we agree? Okay. Yes. Good, Janice. Neeks. Yes. Negative 3. Good. All right. So with this negative 3, we can just leave it as a negative 3 because negative 6 divided by 2 gives me negative 3. But remember, any whole number is always over 1. So if I do that, I could say, hey, let's meet halfway. I can go down 1, 2, 3 over 1. There's that marking that I said. Okay. So if I wanted to, I can go down 1, 2, 3 and over to the right 1, and that point is still on the graph. Go down 1, 2, 3 and over 1, then we can go to that part. So it's almost like, oh, there's another friend that we need to pick up before we go to the party. So you're at your house, you need to go to that other person's house, go down 1, 2, 3 over to 1, pick them up. Go ahead, go down 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3, and over 1 to get to the final destination. All right. So let me unzoom so you can see all of that. Okay. Questions. Legit questions. All right. So go ahead and keep tapping. Let's see if we can get that. Okay, no questions. Thank you, Janice. Man. All right. Okay, good. All right, so let's see if we can get it up to at least, there's like 96 of you guys. Let's see if we can get it up to 10. Okay. I have a feeling that, people are kind of here, not here, but I appreciate you guys coming in. Okay, I'm seeing it moving. There we go. All right, awesome, perfect. So let's do same thing for the next one. Okay, so they're giving us a couple points. So we have 1 point here, and we have 1 point down here. Okay, so we're going from 1 point to the next. So answer this question before you search out. Is it going to be a positive slope or a negative slope, or positive, negative, 0, or undefined? What kind of slope do we have? Positive, negative, 0, or undefined? Put it in the chat. Okay, Pog says positive, Jen says negative. Okay. Zeb, hey Zeb, welcome back. Zeb says positive. Netta says positive. Okay. Going from left to right, what is this graph doing? Okay. Jeremy says negative. Neat says positive. DM, hey DM, welcome back. Says positive. All right. What else? I'm gonna give it little Lagandas. Okay, so from left to right, it's gonna be positive. So then you're here at your house. You need to get to your friend's house. So that means I need to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 city blocks. So that means my rise is a positive 7. That means I'm going up 7. Then from here, I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3. So that means my run is going to be a positive 3 because I ran to the right. So my slope here is going to be 7/3. Now, what happens if I start with the top point as opposed to starting with the bottom point? Will I get the same results? Okay, would I get the same results if I started with this top point to go to this bottom point? Yes or no? Y or N? Okay, Janice is not sure. Okay, thank you for your honesty. Okay, so we got yes, we got Zeb, yes. We have Pug with a negative divided by negative. Yes, you better. Okay. We got no. We got Jeremy, no. We got little tweet saying no. DM saying yes. Yes, both are negative, making it positive. Wouldn't it have to be negative? It would not have to be negative. So I was going to say yes, but no. Okay, just joking. I got you. No, you were right on target. Better. All right. So let's take a look. If I start here, that means, let me use a different color so we can see the difference. If I start here, I'll go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this time, my rise is a negative 7. And then my run, 1, 2, 3, my run is going to be a negative 3 because I went to the left 3. So since we have a negative over a negative, that will give me a positive 7/3. So they're going to be exactly the same. Okay, they're both going to be exactly the same. Yep. So the thing is, remember, it's almost like rise over run. It's a fraction. Okay, when you have a negative divided by a negative, your answer is going to be positive. So when the signs are the same, your solution is going to be positive. Yes. All right, and most of you guys already gave me the next one. Okay, so they gave us 2 points. They gave us this point right here, and they gave us this point right here. Okay, we don't have anything in the middle. Okay, so my rise over my run. So starting, all right, we'll start with this one. If I want to go from this point to this bottom point, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my rise was a negative 5. Then my run is 1, 2, 3. Since I went to the left 3, that's going to be minus 3. So that means my slope, a negative divided by a negative, is a positive. So we have a positive 5/3. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, Janice, that's fine. Life is lifing. As long as we're getting information. All right? So, one, if you start solving and you notice your slope is negative, but your graph is showing a positive slope, double check your stuff. Okay? Double check your stuff. No, Sarah, it's not. Okay? Not a problem. How are you? Is that Ruth? Okay, can I go back to the other one? Sure. Let me unzoom a little bit so you can see. Okay, how are you? It's been a minute since I've seen you. Let me get to word tapping. I'm perfectly fine with 20. Not a problem. Okay, not a problem. All right, so we looked at slope, basically algebraically. We looked at slope graphically. So now, let's see if we can find it in the equation. So, and sometimes it's really simple. So let me shoot over. Good. Good to hear you're doing well. Okay. So now we're looking at an equation of the line. And some people will actually call it slope-intercept form. Okay. So we have our slope and I'm gonna unzoom so you all can see this. Okay, so we got a slope-intercept form. Okay. The other one to keep in mind is your AX plus BY equals C. So this is your standard form. Because sometimes we have to go from one form to the next. So if you get something, and for some reason, let's say you get an equation that says y equals 4x minus 3. What is your slope? Okay. What is your slope? Okay. So Jen said 4x, I'm saying 4, Zeb 4, Kai say 4, Jeremy 4, C4 4. Okay. So it's just the coefficient. So it's not going to be 4x. It's just the coefficient. Because think about it. Your m is your slope. Okay. Not the mx, just the m. So if we're looking at our slope, it's going to be 4. Okay. Yep. All right, no problem. Okay. So if they ever have you just say, okay, what's the slope? Whatever is your coefficient of your x, if y is by itself, that's going to be your slope. That's it. So if they rearrange it, they have 3x plus y is equal to -1. What's my slope? Okay. Netra, I'm going to get back to you in a second. I do see your comment. Just let me clear this thought for a second. Okay. So we're saying 3, Bella. Oh, welcome back, Bella. Saying 3, Kai saying 3, Netra said 3, Jeremy 3, Hem 3, okay. And then Jen's saying -3, okay. Maddie's saying -3, Netra saying 3, Zeb saying -3, Kai saying -3. Why are we changing our answers? Is it because our y is not by itself as it was over here? So we need to solve this equation for y first. And how can we do that? Yes, you have to isolate that y by subtracting. Exactly. Okay, so we have to subtract this 3x. on both sides. We always need, anytime you want to find out what the slope is, put it in that slope-intercept form. Okay, that means y equals. So when we come here, we want to subtract the 3x. So now you got y by itself equals -1 minus 3x. So like we said, the coefficient of your x is always going to be your slope, which makes it a -3. Okay. All right. So you have to isolate before we make that judgment. Now I'm going to tell you, they are going to put 3 and -3 as some of those answer choices. So the key part is to make sure that y is by itself, just like how it was over here, before you make your judgment call. All right. Now there was a question about the previous one before I got to this. What is your question? I think it was about this one here. Oops. So I think, Netta, you had a question about it. Which one is the slope? The slope is always the coefficient of x. Yes. True. So that we always have to make sure we solve it for y first. Okay. Okay. The one before this one? What's the question? Okay, Ned, I'm gonna have to keep it moving. Because other than like the one before that one when we just left it. Yeah, it's just your rise over your run. That's all you're doing. Okay. Because this person said the one before those that I started doing. So these are the ones that we did before we started doing. So, all right, I'm going to keep moving. All right. Okay. All right, so. Okay. All right. So when we have to put it in that y equals mx plus b. So let's say we have, okay, we can do it this way. Let's say that we have, our equation is 3x minus y is equal to 4. and they're going to ask you to graph this. We can approach this one of two ways. Hey, Debbie squared. Okay. This is what we're going to do for one of two ways. We could either use what's called the intercepts, the x and y intercepts, to plot 2 points on the graph and then draw the line. Or we can put it in slope-intercept form. So I guess let me do it in both ways. So if I'm talking about the intercepts, I'm talking about when our x value, when our y value is 0, that's the x-intercepts. And my y-intercept is when I make my x is equal to 0. So I'm going to plug that information in because right now this is in what's called standard form. So in order for me to get the points, in order for me to graph, I'm going to use where they intersect at the x-axis and where they intersect at the y-axis. So if I plug 0 in for y, I'm going to get 3x is equal to 4. So that means my x value is going to be equal to 4/3. So my ordered pair is going to be 4/3, comma 0. That's 1. Okay, you meant 4. Gotcha. If I plug in a 0 for the x's, anything times 0 is going to be 0. So that's why you have negative y is equal to 4. But we don't want to know what negative y is. We want to know what y is. As some people say, y is negative 4. So the two ordered pairs that we should be graphing is the equivalent of 4/3, comma 0, and 0, comma negative 4. Okay. So I'm just going to draw a quick little graph. So you're probably saying, well, how am I going to graph like 4/3? So 4/3 is roughly like 1 1/3. So you're going to do what's called a guesstimate. So I know that it's going to be positive. So here's 1. So it's going to be roughly in between here. But I can make this point rather largish. So I know it's going to be roughly between there because 4 divided by 3 gives me 1.33333333. Now, for the y-intercept, it's going to be 0, negative 4. Put my point. And then here, I can just go ahead and graph. Okay, so that's using the intercepts. All you have to do is just plot your 2 points, and then you can draw your graph. So that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is actually taking your equation and solving it for y. So that means I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. Then I would have and negative y equals negative 3x. So I want to keep it in slope-intercept form, plus 4, because the 4 is positive. But then here, I have a negative y. I just want to know what y is. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 1. So what that does, it changes all the signs. So that means I have y equals, and negative divided by negative gives me a positive, and then a positive divided by a negative gives me a negative. So this is in slope-intercept form. And try to get it that we can actually see a comparison. Went a little bit long, but here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, when it's time for me to graph an equation of the line, this is what stops everybody. No one knows where to start. You always start with your constant. So this is your starting point. Okay, you always start with the constant. Okay, so my constant is a negative 4. So I'm putting my first point at negative 4. So now I got my slope. That's my rise over run, which is a positive 3. Anytime it's a whole number, okay, you always put it over 1. So from the starting point, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. Go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. Okay, there you go. So what do you notice? You basically have the same line. Starting to stay in line. Okay, that's as far out as you can go. All right. Okay, so that's what you're doing. So that's all you have to do with the slope. Okay. All right. So when you're graphing your equation line, this is where you start. You always start at the constant. That's going to be your y-intercept. Notice the y-intercepts were exactly the same at 0, negative 4. The only difference, instead of calculating our x-intercept and trying to guesstimate, we can actually do our slope count. So up 1, 2, 3 over 1. So here is that 1.3, and we kind of guesstimate, not too far away from that, okay, where it crosses the x-axis. All right. So your equation, before you can do any kind of graphing, it needs to be in slope-intercept form. It would like to be in slope-intercept form. But if you choose to keep it in standard form, that means you have to deal with your x and your y intercepts. All right? Okay. All right, so what we will do, let's see if we can do one more, or actually a couple more, and then we're done. Okay. So now, what if they give you this? Okay, so we're looking for an equation line that's going to pass through this point, -1, 5, and it has a slope of 4. So we just need the equation line, that y equals mx plus b. We can take this one of two ways, but we want to keep it as simple as possible so you won't have so many formulas to remember all in one batch. So we know y equals mx plus b. Okay, we know that. So we are missing our b. They are giving us the x value and the y value of a point. So they're giving you the x and the y to put into this equation. The reason why we're going to do some substituting is because they did not give us what our starting point is, what our b is. So our y is a positive 5. Our slope, which we have here, is 4. Our x value is a -1. And then we write down plus b. Okay. So when we're solving, we're combining our like terms. So 4 times -1, that will give me a -4. So that means we have 5 is equal to -4 plus b. What should we do next? B is your y-intercept. Yes, it is. So that's what we're looking for because they gave us. Yes. Good, Janice. So we're going to add 4. So now we have 5 plus 4. That gives us our 9. So our b is equal to 9. So our equation, the line that's going to pass through this point and also has a slope of 4 is simply y equals my m, which is 4, x plus my b, which is 9. So that will be my equation of the line. And that's what we need to do. We need to find the equation of the line. Okay, good, Austin. Couldn't what? You all right? Guy, you having a stroke? What's going on? I see quote. Couldn't raise, couldn't. I know, right? I feel like I'm playing charades. Like, couldn't, a little above. What do you mean a little above? What are we doing? Read the question I asked. I don't see a question you asked, so that's why I'm like, couldn't what? It just says couldn't, and it has a character for the raised, for an exponent. Yeah, I don't see a question. I was like, couldn't. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to start the next one until the question comes back. You're screenshotting everything? Okay. So you're stealing my work? Okay, so I can hunt you down? No, I'm just kidding. No. You too. Look at all the thievery in here. No, I'm just kidding. So I could write it over. Got you. I'm just teasing. Yeah, I don't think anyone did. I think TikTok probably took your question. What kind of illegal stuff you put in that question, girl? All right, so just watch a YouTube video when it posts. Yep. All right. So, okay, let's try. You know what? I'm going to try this one. Why not? Why not? Should I? Hey, well, thank you. All right, so this time, same thing. I know, right? It's a lot of videos, I know. It's a lot of stuff going on in there. All right, so we're going through 4, 0, with the slope of 5/4. You're like, oh, why'd you do that? Because it needs to happen. Let me unshrink a little bit. I'm still curious about this question. But I know I have to learn to let it go. Just gotta learn to let things go. All right. Okay. So like find the equation line through point 4, 0 and has a slope 5/4. Okay. Thank you for the follows, guys. Thanks for joining in. Hello, Blessed. Okay. Thank you for following in. Now, we could do something. I think this is probably what Kai's trying to say. I think. Now, could we do point slope? Good money? All right, hey, Key. All right. So there is something called point slope that we can use. But I'm trying to keep it simple enough that, how should I say this? So you don't have so many formulas to keep in your head. But I will show you what that formula looks like after we do the regular one. All right, so we have our equation. Y equals mx plus b. So they gave us a point, which that is your x, and that is your y. And they gave us our m, which is our slope. So my y was 0. My m is 5/4. My x is 4 as a whole number, plus my b. And you're probably saying, oh God, Audrey, how do I take 5/4 and multiply it by 4? Well, this is what you do. 1, anytime you have a fraction being multiplied by a whole number, make it into a fraction. And you can do one of two things. You can either cross simplify, or you can multiply the numerators, then multiply the denominator, then divide. So either you simplify, then multiply, or you multiply, then simplify. Okay? Yes. Okay, you're cooked? Nice. Are you cooked well done or medium rare? Is there still more cooking time left? All right. So what you can do, if you do 4 divided by 4, that'll give you 1. What's left? 5/1. 5/1, that's the same as saying 5. Plus b equals 0. So I want to solve this for b. So I need to subtract 5 on both sides. So positive 5 and negative 5 cancels out. And 0 minus 5, that will give me negative 5 equals my b. All right. So since now we know what our b is, we can write our equation, which is going to be y equals my slope, which was 5/4, my x, and then we put down our b, which is negative 5. Okay, that's what you got? Good. All right. So, since everyone has that y equals mx plus b dang near memorized and put in your DNA, so now you know you can use the points that they give you to substitute for the x and the y. You use the slope that they give you to substitute for the m. And what you're doing is you're basically solving for b. And that's basically what you're doing. Now, the other one is called point slope. Let me shrink a little bit, or a lot. So point slope, it basically takes the formula from slope and cross multiplies it. So if I have my m over 1 equals my y sub 2 minus y sub 1, so I'm writing the formula for slope, x sub 2 minus x sub 1. If I cross multiplied, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 times 1 will simply be y sub 2 minus y sub 1. If I cross multiply the m times the x sub 2 minus x sub 1, it'll just simply be m times x sub 2 minus x sub 1. What you just found is point slope form. but it's point. Point meaning singular. There's only one point. So since there's only one point, I don't need the sub 2's. It's just going to be y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. That's for the formula of point slope. So if you want to know where it came from your equation of slope cross multiplied. So if we wanted to do this same formula with the slope and with the point, this is how you substitute it in. Your first y is just going to be that. Y minus the y1, which is the 0 of the point, equals my slope, which is 5/4, times x minus my x1, which is the x of the point, which is a 4. So anything minus 0 is basically going to be itself. And all we need to do is distribute that 5/4 into everything inside the parenthesis. So you have 5/4 x. Positive times a negative will give me negative. And 5/4 being multiplied by a whole number of 4 is similar to what we just talked about. The 4's are going to cancel out, but the negative is going to stay. But 4 times 4, or 4 divided by 4 gives me 1. 1 times 5 gives me 5. Notice they're exactly the same. Okay. Notice they're exactly the same. Colin. Why didn't you do... I did. Colin, what are you talking about? Why didn't you do m times y2 minus y1? I did. Yeah. Okay. Have to keep doing this one? Yes. But, again, based off of time, based off of knowledge, based off of comfort, I know a lot of you guys are going to probably stick to this one. Okay? Because you're probably just seeing this for the first time. That's one thing. People that have seen it before may go to the point slope. But you got choices. Okay? It is, but it's doable. It's going to take practice. It's definitely going to take practice. All right. I am done. You guys talk about being cooked. I'm cooked. And I'm not even done my day yet. Okay. All right. So if we could tap into 30, I would be great with that. Okay. You need hands-on learning. If you need a tuner, I keep telling you guys, I'm filling up my schedule. And plus, especially if you're taking classes right now, definitely do not hold back. Take advantage of this. Okay, just for the month of July. Don't come to me August 1st like, oh, can I do that? Nope, because everything is going to shoot right back up to 87 because my fall schedule starts August the 1st. All right, so just for the month of July. A lot of you guys have your exams on the 30th or the 31st. All right, so take advantage of these, 1 hour, $47. Okay, all right, and you're probably saying, man, 87, that's a lot. I'm worth every penny. Actually, that price is actually going to be going up. So up to an hour session, okay, we can work on your content, we can work on your skill set, we can get you ready for your final exam, or maybe there's a quiz that's coming up, you can do that. Now, if you have anybody, maybe you have kids that are in high school or maybe even middle school that has summer reading packets to complete for math, guys, we could probably hammer those things out in about 2 sessions, maybe even, about roughly like 2 sessions. Some people will take like 3, but I have never seen a summer reader packet that takes more than 3 sessions. Okay, and that's even with people with learning difficulties. We usually get it done in like about 2 sessions, right? So if you know of anyone that needs an assistance with the math packet, or if they're taking a prep class and they just want someone to help translate what their math teacher is trying to say and put it in plain English so you can understand and you can apply, make sure you reach out to me. Go ahead and DM me, okay? Send me a message. Don't just say hi, because I'm going to delete it, because I don't know. There's too many people that are like, posing and stalking and all this stuff. I don't want to be anybody's sugar baby. I don't want to be anybody's sugar mama. Like, I'm not into all that, okay? Barking up the wrong tree. But if you need some assistance and you're serious about it, like you really want to get the assistance and the help and be able to break down concepts quickly, as well as wholeheartedly to basically pass some of these exams, let's go. Give me a call. So that's GED, that's ASVAB, that's the TEAS test. That is anything that's related to the entry level for, community college, like the intermediate algebra courses. Like those are the classes that I'm doing. I do pre-calculus, but I do not do honors or this new AP pre-calculus. So if it's regular pre-calc, yes, I can help you. Okay. Can you go over the first one really quick? No, I'm going to get off right now. Okay, so if anything, you can definitely go and check out the YouTube once I download it. It's all there for you, okay? All right, go ahead. Definitely DM me. Hey, Big Al, were you here the whole time? I'm sorry. I got from her daughter. She's heading to sophomore year doing Algebra 1. Yes, definitely reach out. Oh, I came in late. A little brain food. Okay, all right. A little bit of brain food. I like that. Do I also do ACT prep? Yes, I do. Do I enjoy doing ACT prep? Not so much. And the reason why I say this, because sometimes I don't like how standardized tests are designed. But I do suck it up and I try to help people. Now, here's my question to you. The one that's doing the ACT prep, did they already complete Algebra 2? The ACT and the SAT goes up to and includes Algebra 2. So if they haven't seen Algebra 2 yet, they are going to have some difficulties because they haven't learned that concept yet. It's not anything bad against them, but if they're trying to score well on the SAT, they go heavy with the Algebra 2. So if they haven't taken Algebra 2 yet, don't go or spending money for ACT or SAT stuff yet. I would spend money for Algebra 2 stuff. Okay? All right. Yes. Thank you, Michael. Yep, I will see you tomorrow. Yes. Okay, and if you like my notebooks, I designed this notebook. Yes, for all my students. So as school is about to approach, something to give you formulas, something to give you an area for your step-by-step and your work as well to keep things nice and organized. If you have any papers that needs to be stapled in, what they can do is they can tape it on one side and then do the summarization of what they're putting into their notebooks on the other side. And in addition to that, I have in the very back, as soon as I can get it, I have some resources. So my resources includes a factor sheet. If you're not good with multiplication, this factor sheet will help you break down radicals, find your LCM, your GCFs, also help you with factoring, right? And it goes from 1 to 200. In addition to that, you have your rules of integers, so you can really focus up on those spaces, as well as the most popular words and the operations that they represent in word problems. Then we also took a look at some of these. We took a look at slope, a standard form and slope-intercept form. We did those today, and point slope. All right, we just kind of did that little introduction for linear and quadratic. Then we have order of operations, properties of exponents, properties of quadrilaterals, also transformation, then a little bit with the geometry with the area and perimeter and all the formulas for those, as well as volume and surface area, area of a sector we get to later on, and arc length. As well as for my pre-calc kids, you're going to need to understand that unit circle wholeheartedly, as well as Pythagorean's theorem, SOHCAHTOA, come into the light. And then for those that are going to be doing some more trig, usually the trig functions are, you'll see basically in like pre-calculus. All right, so this is my ultimate math notebook. If you say, you know what, Audrey, I love your notebook, but I want your notes. Well, guess what? Instead of sitting here trying to rewrite all my notes, I have all my notes in books 1 through 4. So what I did was I decided to put all my notes together into book form. And if you notice, there's a QR code. If you scan the QR code, it will take you directly to the live that's associated with each topic. All right, so you got all of those on both sides. So again, books 1 through 4 is released. We're currently working on book 5. And in addition to it, I'm working on my left-handed series. So all my lefties, I got you. I'm using this as a dedication to my father that has passed, and he was left-handed. It will be, I can't believe, 8 years next month. So if I'm a wreck next month, you know why. Definitely a daddy's girl. Not saying that I don't love my mother, but you know. So I will be doing a left-handed series, dedication to him. So no longer constantly have to reach around to turn. You'll be able to open things up on the other side. So that's going to be helping. All right. So going through all of that. And then, of course, I'm going to be having some more additional stuff that's going to be happening. But if you are interested in that, again, you can either go here, okay, for the books. You could go here, but I only get like 50 cents a book. But if I go here, you'll be able to get your book and also support me at the same time. If you want the replays, give me some time. Let me see if TikTok is actually going to behave so I can download all that and get everything up to date by this evening. So definitely come here to go there. And again, make sure if you want, message me if you need any of this. I do this and small groups up to 5. And if you're looking for some self-paced courses for this, and even this, okay, I'm definitely running a sale right now just for the month of July. If you just want the course and it's self-paced, you can go ahead and pay that. But if you want to include 4 30-minute tutoring sessions with me, that's going to be the price for that one. But once we get into September 1st, this price is going to come back, the $327. So it's kind of like grab it when you can. And then last but not least, because I did find it yesterday, now all of a sudden, I'm telling you, I had it in my hands. Okay. I was trying to find the thing yesterday with people's names on it. So I know, Robert, are you going live today? If you are, my friend Robert, he does AP and BC. AP Calculus, AB and BC, as well as AP Statistics. He also does statistics for nursing. So if you're a nursing student and you need some assistance, make sure you follow Robert. It's like, and I had all the listings, and I have no idea where it's skedaddled to. Oh, wait, found it. This is what happens when you have 60 million two things on your desk. Okay, so he's Robert, the AP math guy. In the chat, he is listed as Main Street Tutors, so make sure you do that. How much for the class for GED? So it was going to be, if it's just that, that's going to be $147. Okay, but if you want the tutoring, it'll be $197. All right, but if you're also looking for assistance with nursing, make sure you follow a Blessed RN. My Impact Math, I don't know if she's live right now. She might be live tonight. She also does TEAS tests, ASVAB, and GED. That's Impact Math with Miss Taylor. If you're looking for a chemistry tutor, if you know you're going to be taking chemistry next year, definitely hook up with Professor TK. If you want to learn a different way of adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, 1-step, 2-step, 3-step, and like 1-digit, 2-digit, 3-digit, make sure you follow Learning with Lynette. She'll teach you how to deal with math using the abacus. And then last but not least, if you got some little ones that you're thinking about homeschooling and you need some resources, visit my girl Nancy online elementary tutor. As well as if you need a math or a reading tutor, we have Bridget, who is Read Math Grow. She definitely needs to get live so she can show some of her wares. And I think that is it. Alrighty. Okay. So yeah. Give you the support that you need. Okay, in 25. All right. Oh, we're going through trig. Yay. All right, so if you want to, you guys can get yourselves ready to visit up with Robert. One again, thank you for coming in. So 1 to 3 notebooks is notes. Just need the notebook. Okay, so the Audrey's notes is my notes that is already done. All you have to do is just follow along, and you got more like enrichment. It's almost like a tutoring session, but you can follow along with the notes. It's already completed. But if you want the blank notebook, that's the ultimate notebook. Okay, so if you want the blank notebooks, that's the ultimate notebooks. There's so many different versions, or like there's 3 covers right now, as well as one for 4th through 6th grade. Okay, so 4th through 6th grade, I have them with the bigger tiles. And the reason why I have them with the bigger tiles is so they can keep track of their numbers. So they can put their numbers in. This probably will be good for even kids that are younger, because it's big enough for them to put their numbers inside the spaces. And they also get the resource. So again, they also get the factor sheet, because nowadays kids don't know how to read multiplication table. Watch, go ahead, give your kid a multiplication table right now and look at the confusion on their face. Trust me. Okay, a little definition with fractions, also how to go from percent to a decimal, fraction to decimal, all of this. A lot of this is going to be in my newer book, because I have a new one coming out hopefully before the end of this month. And then we have fractions operations, we have decimal operations, place values, okay, rounding and estimating, conversions. Then we have the same area, and then we have very much the same as what's in the other book, as well as the rules of integers. And then for them, since they're younger, they need some brain breaks. I give them a little bit of a brain break with some puzzles and some relief. Okay, so this is the 4th through 6th. Yeah, here we go. I was looking for this. So they can go through their ones, their tens, their hundreds, so they can keep track. All right. Okay, the name of my book is The Ultimate Math Notebook. There is no other math notebooks out here. Most of the notebooks that you see nowadays are just for journaling and elementary. They're nothing that's designed for our kids that are older. So my whole idea for this is 4 through 6, but the other ones, okay, here's one of my other covers, basically the same information. Okay, noticing all the notes. These are basically designed for 7th through adults. Okay, so same concept. Okay, dot grid on one side, normal grid on the other side. Okay, I like to do in the dot grids because it makes my graphs so much nicer. That's just how I am. So, all right. And it has all the other resources just like the other ones. So it doesn't matter which book, you just figure out which cover you want. All right. Okay, So, where to purchase it? You can go to my personal bookstore. Okay, this is where you would go. All right. So that's where you get your math notebooks, your Audrey's notes, and I am also working on a math workbook. So hence, that's why I've been pulling a lot of all-nighters. Hi. Welcome to being tired. All right. Okay. Yes, I know. I know the struggle's real. All right. Okay. Any other questions? So for this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I will be live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. From here on, I'm going to be working on a lot of the basic concepts. So looking at fractions, looking at decimals, looking at graphing, looking at slope, like really trying to hit on all those concepts that a lot of people who are actually going to be taking exams on the 30th and the 31st. Just really trying to hit hard on those basic concepts. Or if you're thinking of GED, I'm just really hitting hard on those 1, 2, and possible 3-point questions. Okay, I might be able to slip a 4-point question, like say a system of equation in there, but we're really trying to hit hard on those questions so you can build up. Okay, yeah, fractions will be fun. Okay, I will definitely do that. Because one, and a lot of people are probably thinking, well, if you're going to do it for free here, why should I pay for it? Well, maybe you might not need that much attention on fractions. You might need more attention on factoring. You might need more attention on, if you're doing a college algebra class, you might need more attention on rational functions and simplifying. So just take it what it is. All I know is I definitely have, my weekends are pretty open right now, which is good. So I have 6 slots on Sunday and I have 4 slots on Saturday. And then a couple of slots here and there, which they're almost going to be filled up. So if you need it, let's go. Let's take it. You need attention on everything. Well, Bella, be ready. All right, there's going to be examples. I want you to come ready with questions. I just want you to have questions, and I just want you guys to learn. All right, because if you don't speak up, I'm going to keep going. All right, love it, love it. All right, everyone. Well, I am going to get myself ready for more tutoring and hopefully get all these notebooks done so we can just start getting you ready for the upcoming school year. I hate to say it, I don't want to rush your summer, but here's the reality. It is July 11th. Seriously, where did June go? Like, where did it go? Before you know it, it'll be the first week of August. So we basically have 3 weeks left before the first week of August, before August 1st. Okay? Let that soak in. So enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you guys Sunday at 7 p.m. All right, take care and have a good one. Bye now.